To start out my bookbinding unit with my secondary students, I'm going to begin with this simple Pamphlet Stitch Sketchbook that is made out of one signature of drawing paper, a piece of old file folder that I've cut down to 8.5 by 11, and then just some book thread and a needle. I've rounded all the edges just to make it nice and clean, and then I'm taking all my drawing pieces of paper and folding them in half. Do the same with your cover. And then put those pages inside your cover and line it up to where you want it to be. You can use a binder clip here to secure your signature to that cover for the sewing section. Before we sew, I'm going to make 3 hole marks. I have an 8.5 width piece of paper, so I'm marking it at 4 1/4, and then I'm going to also mark it 1 inch in from the top and the bottom, so I have 3 nice holes. I'm going to poke those holes just using a little thumbtack. Make sure to not poke yourself. You can also use a little template to make sure that you don't get any marks on the inside of your drawing paper. Then it'll be time to sew. Here I'm using just some linen bookbinding thread. I'm going to thread a needle. I'm using about a yard of bookbinding thread, and then I fold it in half and tie a knot at the very end. If you'd like to make a stronger knot or a little bit thicker knot, you can actually move that end piece through the hole twice and then tighten up. To start your pamphlet stitch, we're going to go through the center, starting on the cover side, and then push through to the inside of the book. Pull through until you hit that knot. Don't pull too hard because you don't want to pull the knot through. Then you're going to go through the top hole. Push out to the cover side. Make sure all your strings are nice and tight and clean. Then we're going to go through the center again. We're making a figure 8 with our bookbinding thread. So I'm going to pull out that knot just a tiny bit so I can see that center hole. Push through to the inside of the book, making sure not to poke my fingers, pull tight, and then I will go through that bottom hole. Make sure you're pulling all those strings tight as you go along. This is less important for the pamphlet stitch, but way more important when you start doing a little bit more challenging bookbinding stitches. To finish up the pamphlet stitch, all I'm going to do is a clove hitch or a couple of half hitches around that top string. I'm creating the number 4 with my string and then pulling that through the loop. To finish up, trim the edges, take off your binder clip, and you have a nice little sketchbook.